Hello and welcome to SFR here in GP3. As we head towards Silverstone, as we just wait for the people to ready up and we will get underway. I am joined by SFR Martin today.
Hello.
It's a classic track here at Silverstone, and I think it's actually most people's home race here, so it should be a really interesting race. What are your thoughts on the track as well, Martin?
Yeah, Silverstone, everybody loves it. And I think it's probably one of the most race tracks in the game, probably. Silverstone, it always provides good racing, so hopefully we get a good race today.
Yeah, of course, as I'll get you all sorted up. Only 9, I believe it should be 10, as I'll just get you sorted on the championship. Currently Podge leads on 15 points, followed by Golden Wolf, Mohammed Gunner, The Vicar, Felix Branham, Gislodian, Bobcat, Mark Querty and Steffi and Kilbert are your top 10 there in the championship. McLaren will lead the constructors. Of course, with the reduced point system this season, only 15 for a win. This provides closer championship battles as well, which could be a really good idea, I think.
And it's a dry qualifying.
Is it a wet race though? That could be.
That will certainly mix things up.
Yeah, I would love that. So now we just wait to get underway. First car out is, by the looks of things, that looks like Sefu in the AlphaTauri. It is. That is our first car out tonight. And of course, Sefu, he is currently P9 in the standings on 3 points. Of course, after getting fastest lap in Austria last week. As we just wait for more cars to come out and set laps. Golden Wolf out with Bobcat behind.
Yeah, everybody's starting to filter out now.
Yeah, and of course it's a very, very winding track, and it's a classic track, like I said earlier. Like, who do you think could come out on top this week?
It's a very good track to get in a rhythm. You can just keep going and keep going and keep going. And tyre wear's a big thing around here. If you can monitor and keep your tyre wear going, you can really extend your stint. But I don't know, Podge looks, the two McLaren drivers look really strong in this division. I suspect both of them will be up there. But it is Silverstone, as we say, it's one of the most common tracks that people race in the game, so you tend to find that the gap comes down a bit in tracks like this, so yeah, we'll see how qualifying goes.
And of course, the last couple of years, in real life as well, it's been madness at Silverstone with, of course, Hamilton getting the puncture, and Verstappen and Hamilton's fight back, and of course last year where Sainz was leading and the Ferraris screwing up really short of strategy call by deciding to not hit him, and ended up with a really exciting end there as Bobcat ends up in the grass. And of course last season as well in SFR we had GP1, very wet race. The whole race was wet, and a late safety car ended up with me somehow winning it. I don't know how, but it ended up being a really, really interesting race. Of course, Glock getting that 5-place grid penalty in qualifying as well did alter things as well. And being a dry quali and ended up being a really wet race and a dry sprint also added to the chaos. And of course, yeah, as Gareth just pointed out, GP4 last season, I think it was a 28-point gap heading into the weekend, to the week, for Dan Delar, and he ended up losing the championship because of course the sprint week it was last season, and Maggi ended up pulling that back, a 28-point gap, and ended up winning the championship, which was really, really exciting to watch, with lap craziness with Dankdallar getting a drive-through under the last safety car and ended up in P9 or 10, I believe it was. As Golden Wolf will come around towards the final corners now. He comes round. Vial now. Sefiu, actually, he was first. I completely forgot about that. He sets a 29.29 as Golden Wolf goes 7/10 quicker with a 2.99. A lot of 2s and 9s.
Yeah, it was a great lap from Golden Wolf there.
It's Podge, of course, our championship leader. Now, next to set a time, coming around the final corner. It's a very tricky final corner, of course, and into the 28 already.
Yeah, storming lap.
See what his teammate can do. See what his teammate can do heading into Club and Vale. And of course that final corner, like I was saying, it's really tricky just loading into P3. It's a really tricky corner to get the power down as well, because you can just easily spin it on the curb.
I find it a little bit easier than last year's game, funnily enough, that corner. You know, the traction in general is a lot more difficult in this game, but for some reason that corner is a little bit easier than last year's game, I've found, but everybody view it differently.
Yeah, I think it's the curve on the inside, the sausage curve, that just sends people. But of course, yellow flags. Let's see. Is anyone on a lap? Just loading in 6 seconds. Yeah, no one's on a lap, I believe, apart from
Biff was on a lap.
Apart from Biff in that Ferrari, heading towards Cops now. A few famous moments through here, of course. It's very fast right-hander. Do you reckon you can take that fast this year, or do the downforce not allow that?
Nah, especially not in race fuel anyway, but probably it could be possible, but I think it's, for the majority it's unlikely.
Yeah. See what Biff can do in that Ferrari. So as he comes down towards the final corner, it's a very undulating circuit as well, so that could add to the difficulty of the final corners. As you can see back there, you can see it's a bit off camber heading there as Biff goes to P2. Nice lap. Clear for sector 3 as well.
Yeah, I think the final, I've not watched all of his lap, but the final couple of corners, he was kind of over the curves and stuff, so I decided that after doing a little bit more time.
Yeah, of course, the curbs aren't really the kindest here. As Vicar heading through Maggots, Beckett and Chapel now heading down towards the Hanger Straight. The RS Open, Paper Sector 2, that might just be the game deceiving us though. Of course, we cannot know with how this game is. With how many glitches there is. But here we go, down towards the final corner. The final couple corners, sorry. I keep forgetting it's not the final corner. And heading through the final corner now. And it will be for the Vicar P1. So it was a purple sector 2. And 4/10 quicker on older tyres as well.
Yeah, it was a very strong lap. Very strong.
He'll expand on his teammate now. Coming towards the final corner. Over the curb and down the final corner. And it's going to be a 40.9, maybe a banker lap.
I think he might have an incident somewhere. Didn't have his ERS on either.
Maybe just saving for this lap. And now we can go full push. Mark Quirky as well, teammate of the current poleman. Heading through the loop and towards Aintree. Aintree as well, that's a very difficult corner in the wet. And sometimes in the dry, if you don't have enough downforce, you can just slide and understeer off the road.
Yeah, I found the understeer through that corner is quite heavy. In general, the game is a little bit understeery in general.
Yeah.
Understeer on entry and oversteer on exit quite a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
just gets the snap oversteer coming through it.
Oh yeah, Felix Van. Yeah, as I think it was the 2013 Ferrari, it was known for having both oversteer and understeer during the corner. I think that's what this game kind of is. And it's not the nicest, but if you like understeer on entry and oversteer on exit, it's a game for you, but no one likes that. But some people have mastered it, of course, with their Glock mastering and
having a little lift there.
Yeah, is heading through south. There it is, and heading out of Vale now and up towards the line. It will be P7. Maybe some time for him to improve there for Mark Quater. 8 minutes left in the session, of course. Bobcat, the final drive to set a lap. And he's heading towards Club now. And of course, that's an overtaking zone. If you can decide to go on your brakes just about right and not squeeze the other driver off, as I believe that happened a few times last season. Late braking and a few lockups.
Golden Bill, a 10.5 down on his sector 1 time, so he'll find some improvement through the middle sector if he wants to improve in his position.
Yeah, maybe he's pumped up the front downforce to maybe just get that extra turn in for maybe the races or something. Oh, he's invalidated it.
Validated.
Easy to do at Cops, of course. He's back onto Bobcat now, and he's invalidated it as well. I'm guessing out of entry, and they're all invalidating it now. It's Podge, I believe, or just loading. It's Podge on a lap. As that's an out lap, I believe, because it's giving it last time. So starting his lap now with Podge. P2 at the minute, about 4/10 off to Vicker. And this could.
Yeah, I was just watching C3 sort of level on its time at the moment. He's about to go through Cops.
Yeah, as we ride on board. That's a brilliant shot there, just over the curbs, perfectly there for Sefu.
Yeah, he got his line great.
Yeah, heading through Maggots and Beckett's now. You can see the undulation on this camera of how tricky it is through there. As he heads out of Chapel now and down towards, he's a 10th off, heading down towards Stonehow. It's one of the trickiest high-speed corners here, medium-speed corners kinda. It's on the line of both, but heading towards...
See the car just understeering through the corner. It's difficult to get on the power early.
Yeah, because of course it's an easy place to invalidate there. With you want to nail it, but you don't want to invalidate at the same time. P5 for Sefty with doing it.
It's almost like actually the apex is a little bit later than you would imagine. There, people go in and ride it a little bit earlier. And that's another thing that's changed from last year. That corner is the apex is actually slightly later, so you have to take the wider entry and then you can get on the power a little bit earlier. But it was a nice lap from CJ. I'm sure he's got a couple more times in the first sector.
Yeah, and speaking of understeer, we saw Podge understeered off the track at Chapel, ended up in the grass, and ended up sitting at the end of his lap. Please next drive across the line on a lap will be Biff, who's now set a purple sector 2, 5/10 up on his last time. If he can keep it clean through the final couple of corners, he could be on for an amazing lap here. Oh no, and he's invalidated it through Stowe. As you were saying there, he took a early apex, trying to get the power down and just getting too much power down. And it would have ended up putting him in P2. The blue just loading on a lap now. Oh.
Yeah, I think he's improving. He is up on his time. It's been a better lap from him this time. That looks to be better than his last lap.
P3.
Yeah, 29, fantastic lap.
Brilliant lap from him there. As Biff's teammate Felix Banham on a lap now. 9 seconds up on his last time. This could be a good improvement for him. And through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel now.
Oh, but oversteer on exit there. Or just sliding a little.
Yeah, 10.5 seconds up though. That could put him just ahead of Mark Querty, maybe even Sefu if he can improve through these final corners. Of course, he wasn't using ERS in his first lap. Let's see what he can do on his second. No, the final clearance, no. Now we're all the way down. It's going to be P6 for Felix Van, a nice lap. As I believe, is anybody else on a lap?
No, everybody's sort of on I don't know if Jazodian's going to go again or going to come in for fresh tyres. I imagine he'll be coming in for fresh tyres.
Well, let's see what he does heading through Stowe now. Of course, an early pit lane as well here. Compared to other ones, it's like right off the final 3 corners, and you can actually gain time and end up. I think sometimes you can win the race there if you just decide to go into the pits. I believe.
Golden, Wilf, and Bobcat electing to go out early, get their final runs in.
Maybe go for 2 runs here. And here we go. Final lap for the Gold Mull. Possibly final lap for Gold Mull. Heading through turn 1 nice and clean over the hill and heading towards Luke now. On the sausage curve a little bit there, you can see his car rise up, heading through Aintree now. Nice and clean through there, no understeer through Aintree and down the straight. Wellington Street and heading towards his attempt down again in that first sector, heading through. I can't remember those 2 corner names.
The one to punch the right hand side here, get the car over the right line, just like that, perfect line. A little lift and downshift here.
And nice through the perfect. Right up to the edge of the track. And not losing much time on the curbs. And heading through.
You can go right over that curb and halfway on the grass there, you won't lose any time.
Yeah, of course, and then through towards Stowe now. To complete his lap, it could be.
Early, can't get the exit.
He can't get that exit. Power down and heading nice through there, nice and clean. Out wide and back in, and it's not going to be much of an improvement. Zephyr though, let's see what he can do. He stays in P7. Maybe going for another lap here is Zephyr. It looks like he is. Oh no, he's not. That's it for Zephyr.
Yeah, the game takes the outlap. The little bit that says outlap off once you get into the 3rd sector. I think that was how the start once you find that. I'm going to stay on board with the Vicar to see if he's going to improve his time. Look, there's Podge and Jazodian that are going to. Well, Jazodian is elected to stay in the pits.
Maybe saving a set of tyres.
Yeah.
So that could indicate it could be a dry race if he's deciding to save a set of tyres. But Podge finally about to start his final lap here, 40 seconds to go. P2 at the minute, currently 4/10 off the Vicar, who currently is heading through Cops. He's just a little bit up on his time in sector 1, over the sausage curve a little bit too much there. You can see it rise up. See what he is like through this middle sector. And he's a 10th up. That's a nice, at the minute it's looking really good for the Vicar. Heading through Cops now, nice and clean through there. And heading up towards the final little chicane, double right hander, and out wide, doesn't want to push that off the curb, as you will spin it, and it will be an improvement.
Yeah, fantastic lap there, everything nice and smooth. Podge needs to find over half a second here. He is slightly up on his time.
And Bobcat's got no front wing, but Podge, he's got the understeering out there. I think he can.
That time's going to cost him all the way down the hangar straight.
Yeah, of course, he was always struggling through there. I saw on his last lap as well. He was up at about 2/10 I think it was, and then he understeered through there, went all the way wide. See what he can do through this final corner though. Can he improve it? And it will be for Podge. Still P2, does find some time.
But you can see where he's struggling in the lap. If he manages to sort that out under the race fuel, he'll definitely be a challenge for the victor.
Yeah, but of course, race fuel equals more understeer, of course. So this could not be.
Yeah, it could have been an indication of a setup issue, but it looked more like to me he was just pushing too hard, trying to find the time, when really you want to be smooth through there. The more you push, sometimes you just end up losing the time.
Yeah, of course.
But the Vicar is our pole sitter with a 28.2, a fantastic lap.
Yeah, it's a nice lap there, of course. The Vicar on pole, followed by Podge and Biff in P2 and 3. Gislodian is in P4. Goldmulf and Felix Panam on that third row of the grid, with Sefu, Mark Quirty and Bobcat rounding off your top 9.
Yeah, Bobcat not quite able to get a lap together. They chose to just do the one run at the end. Always a risk when you do that.
Yeah, I saw he lost his front wing as well. If you ride on board with his car, you can just see no front wing.
Yeah.
I do wonder what happened to him there.
His ERS is quite high, so I would imagine that happened fairly early on in the lap. But Gislodian, though, decided not to go out for a final run. Maybe would have been able to squeak into P3 or P2.
Yeah, of course, look at that gap, it's absolutely tiny. The 2,000ths of a second between the two. But that is your qualifying grid for Silverstone. It's the Vicar on pole, followed by Podge and Biff and Gislodian on the front 2 rows of the grid. Gislodian, Goldmulf in Goldmulf and Felix Panam in P5 and 6, Sefu in P7, Mark Quirty in P8 and Bobcat in P9 rounds off your grid. And predictions for the podium, Martin?
I think if the Vicar can pull away without any issues, he looks like the man to beat. That's a fantastic quality lap that's put in there. But the rest of P2, P3, it's all up for grabs. They're all pretty close there, as you saw, for between Gislodian. It could be anyone. I refuse to predict people now, because in the past I've been given the commentator's curse to drivers, so I'm not going to put that on them. I'm not going to cast my evil spell over them. I'll just let them go and do what they can do.
Yeah, I remember you said that last time in GP2. And of course, with the race getting underway, it's blue skies at the minute. But that could all change. As we saw in GP2 last week, it was blue skies at the start, and it ended up pretty wet at the end of the race, full wet.
Yeah, they had a wet qualifying as well, did they not?
Yeah, they had a wet qualifying. With Oliver, of course, you said he was he could be the man to beat, and ended up, unluckily for him, ended up spinning a few times. And it's a good example of the commentator's curse.
The old Silverstone circuit.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the new season to get underway. What is it now? So 1-2 weeks now till the reveals start for the liveries?
I believe so. I think the first one is Red Bull. Well, the first one is Williams, because we all know Red Bull's just going to be Red Bull.
Yes. Ferrari will be Ferrari.
Yeah, so it would be a shock if the Ferrari's not red and the Red Bull's not got a Red Bull on it. And the AlphaTauri as well, that's going to be white and black, like always. Or white and dark blue, or whatever it is.
Yeah, a little tip to Codemasters, when the livery comes out, that they get the right shade of blue for the Red Bull car this year. What did it take them? 6 months, 5 months, 6 months to fix the shade of blue on the Red Bull car. So hopefully they take notes this time around.
Yeah, and hopefully they put a lot more effort into this year's game, of course, 23 game, because
I did have a read, not to take away from the race that's upcoming, but I did read that apparently Codemasters have been working on the game, the F1 23 game, for pretty much the same amount of time as they started the F1 22. Apparently there's going to be a new engine brought to the game. It is of course all rumours, but it might explain why F1 22 has not been the best game that they've produced. Is because they are concentrating on the game to come this year. So fingers crossed there's a massive improvement.
Yeah, and I've always read that they've always done that. They've always split development once the game has came out.
And there's a bit of suspicion as well. Obviously, we're getting 2 new tracks this season in the calendar. Will they be in for the launch of the game, or will they be DLC content? Because I think that Las Vegas still isn't even
complete.
Hasn't even been completed.
Nope.
So they don't even know like where to go with that.
And what was the other track that was getting added again? I cannot remember this season. It's there's a lot of them, isn't there? Let's have a look.
I believe that Qatar might be getting added to the game as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that's
obviously been pulled out.
That would only be for a season, though, of course, because Qatar de Losail circuit is it's only a semi-permanent one for F1, as they're building a new one somewhere with all the time.
I like the track. I think it's a fantastic track.
Yeah, I've always loved it on MotoGP. I'm watching MotoGP. It looks like a good track, especially when I'm playing the games. I always quite liked it. But yeah, let's just see if they add it to the game. It could be fun to drive. It's a very wide track as well.
Malaysia, I think everybody would like to see Malaysia back on the track, back on the calendar again.
Yeah, then when you drive up that one there, they're more interested in MotoGP over there, and they couldn't afford it anymore. Yeah. So, but hopefully, interest spikes up in Malaysia again. Same for a few other tracks like Germany as well. As
We're back to Silverstone for this race. As it all start to line up on the grid.
The Vicar a bit early stopping. There's Bobcat as well getting disqualified. So here we go, getting ready. As I'm getting some dodgy lights here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights out, and the Vicar with a terrible start in the fudge. Already jumping him into turn 1. And the Vicar will drop down to P5, maybe P6. And it's going to be contact, and that is Biff making contact with just loading, and the Phillips Span as well. Spinning into the pit lane. Vicar up to P2 again.
The camera angle changed for me just at the wrong moment there. I couldn't see what was happening into turn 1.
Oh, golden rough rounds as well. Into the gravel. And it's a shocking start for a lot of drivers as the Vicar, who had a terrible start, dropped off to P5, already back up to P2 by the end of the Wellington straight, just loading of course on the softs. That is a very interesting strategy call from the McLaren.
Felix had an issue as well, he's got out to the back, so but they've gone 3 wide through the first turn there, I think, trying to anyway.
Yeah, it was Felix Span, he spun it through turn 1, like Perez did a couple of years ago in Silverstone. Nearly ended up going down the pit lane. As Biff leads by about a second now to the Vicar, and just loading as well, closing in. We'll start to drop off a little bit of the Vicar now. 5 cents on those softs, of course, he will be the quicker man. As Sethi looking to get past in towards Stowe, he's going to dive up that inside of Mark Quirty, and it's going to be a nice move for Sethi, late braking and getting past there. As there's more yellow flags, Felix Span spinning as well at the back. As Biff sets the fastest lap, of course, he's the first man across the line. Of course, that'll happen. But of course, he's extending his gap now, so it could be a good race for him. depends on what he's like on the hard, of course. As they're swapping about, that's Bobcat spinning. And into the barrier, that could be some rear wing damage on that Williams and destroying the marker boards. For anyone who isn't online, that could be a problem for them.
Well, Gislodian is on the soft tyre.
Yeah, he nailed that start as well. Purple sector 1, as expected on the softs. But that's a weird strategy to go for. Is he going to go soft hard or a 2-slot maybe? Maybe expecting a safety car.
I would imagine it would have to be soft hard. I'm not sure that soft medium is possible here anymore.
I don't think it's possible even on the game.
And I think the Vicar now just slowly starting to eat into that lead of biffs, bringing that down a couple of tenths. As the pit stop strategy comes up on the screen, it does say soft, medium, medium, or medium hard.
Yeah, so maybe going for the 2-stop.
The hard tyres do go for a long time round here. Soft hard should be possible.
Yeah, it just depends on the tyre wear on those softs and the hards, of course. As the Vicar, he looks like he's losing time in that final sector compared to Biff. But he is got that fastest lap of the race, of course, now. After a great exit out of the final corner. Saving his ERS, of course, as well, by the looks of things. Podge now getting the fastest lap.
Build a few tenths out and just load in there. Coming across that finish line in turn 1. So, I don't know if just loading's an issue or the tyres are falling off already.
Yeah, of course, the softs don't last very long on this game, compared to last year at least. And that I think could be a good idea to introduce maybe a mandatory 2-stop, which could add some place to the race, but of course we're still with the 1-stops or 3 strategy for. And what are your thoughts on that, Martin? A 2-stop strategy maybe?
I don't think the 2-stop strategy is really working in the game.
I meant as a mandatory maybe, just as
yeah, I don't mind the idea of that, yeah, to make the game more interesting, the races, because it can't get dull just in the 1-stop, medium hard. It's basically medium hard everywhere, isn't it? So,
yeah.
But then again, it does mimic real life. It's pretty much what the strategy is in last season. There's pretty much 1-stops everywhere, so we did go for the authentic look.
Yeah.
You see Podge is he's climbing himself back up now. He's all over the back of Seafew.
And the Vicar as well setting that fastest lap. And let's see what Podge can produce. And he cannot go fastest doing it. But in towards turn 1 he will go due right behind him. Will he go for that DRS or will he actually go for it in towards the hairpin, and he's going to send it up the inside. Seku leaving enough space, but has that inside line for the next 2 corners, of course, and round the outside, of course. Podge getting that DRS and the better exit, and he's going to just edge ahead of Seku through turn 4. Nice move for Podge, but now a 5-second gap to his teammate.
See if you can see that Podge's red light is flashing, so Podge has been pushing very hard to try and get back up towards these guys at the front.
Yeah, and you would expect that from the championship leader, though, wouldn't you? To try and just keep that championship lead.
Yeah, but I think now he's going to go in if he wants to have a chance of getting up there into the podium, he's going to have to go through a phase of saving that ERS. Because, you know, all the time that you're under that 10%, all you're doing is losing power and losing time.
Yeah, of course, that usually does happen. As Biff currently still leading by about 1.5 seconds here. Maybe still pushing on. Is the Vicar going into tyre saving mode, do you think? To try and just get that overcut on him?
He might be doing that. You know, we don't discuss what people's battery levels are on the street. You know, so we don't really know who's really pushing and who's not. But you know, the gap's sort of staying steady. It's fluctuated by a couple of tenths here or there. I think the Vicar is quicker in some sections of the track compared to Biff, and Biff is maybe a bit stronger in one or two others. But I think as long as the Vicar doesn't let him get you know, too far out ahead and just nurses everything. There's no need to go on the attack right now. He's got a comfortable gap to P3.
Yeah, and still extending that gap as well to Podge, as I believe he will lead the championship after this. Just gonna double check the standings. It's 12 points in second place, of course, this season. So Podge will just be ahead, I believe, and Biff will actually lead it. Sorry, no, Biff won't lead it. Oh, a little slide up there. The Vicar getting closer and closer now. You can see the understeer on Biff there.
Yeah, I think the ideal scenario now for the Vicar would be to just sit in the DRS for a while, charge up his battery and choose his moment to go. Choose his moment when to pit, when not to pit, if what pit, it's DNS.
And that's going to be a safety car. And that is on track. And that is an unusual place to crash, not going to lie. But, when he's gone past the safety car, will he brake and give it back? No. So we've got a lap of Delta. And the Vicar getting stuck behind the safety car. Oh. Stuck behind the safety car, the Vicar. Unlucky there. That has hugely decreased the gap for just Lodian and Podge.
Yeah, he should be able to get that Delta back down again.
Yeah, of course he can't push now with that Delta.
Because the Delta is out until the leader catches up to the safety car, so should be able to bring the gap back down to what it was.
Yeah, and for just Lodian, this could be perfect for his strategy on those softs. And do you see anyone else pitting maybe?
I think if you're in their position, you probably go to the hards. 20 laps by the time that maybe the race gets up and going. 18 laps maybe before they're going again. I think that's doable on a hard tyre.
Yeah, it could be really exciting. Let's see what Lodian does. So, actually, Lodian has been caught, has stayed in the DRS range of Biff, and dives in. He's in. Lane will follow him. Seppi joins them with Mark Quercy and Felix Fanham also chooses to stay out. So 3 drivers in. The rest stay out. Let's see what Lodian goes on to. He's on the hards. So you were saying the hards, they do last a while, like you said.
Yeah, if you're going to pit now, you definitely go hards to the end. That's definitely what you would be trying. And I do think it is possible. I do think that it's possible to go to the end on the hards.
And Mark Quercy on the softs. That's a weird choice, maybe hoping for another safety car in the next couple of laps. Or maybe just doesn't think the hards could last that long. Of course, with the hards under safety car, they're going to be absolutely freezing on that restart.
Yeah, I'm just thinking whether these guys out front on the mediums are thinking, you know, if they can extend the stint now behind the safety car and maybe try and go soft, change this into a soft medium. We shall see.
Yeah.
But we do know that the longer you stay out in the warm tyres, the more time you lose. The undercut is very, very strong at this track.
Yeah, and on some tracks as well, the overcut is actually a lot better if you manage to save your tyres just perfectly. But it's an undercut.
It's very strong. I've seen people coming in as early as lap 8, lap 9, and going straight to the hards and getting the undercut done. Obviously, you pay towards the end of the race when that happens, but yeah, it should be interesting to see what these guys are thinking now up front.
Yeah, but that could be worth it because you have that gap, don't you? You'll be so much quicker on those newer hards compared to the end. And Steffi's in again, and Podge and the Vicar, and the Vicar's in.
Go in.
a weird choice. He's lost the lead kind of thing, because of course just Lodian's ahead of him now, and his teammates ahead of him as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's maybe thinking that he's losing more by staying out and would rather not lose the pit stop.
Seffi onto the softs.
Right decision.
Seffi jumping back onto the softs from the hards, so maybe it's not worth it yet for the hards, but it could be. That could decide the race. Could be a really good risk, and it could really pay off for a few.
Yeah.
As
one thing's for sure, if you're going soft right now, you're definitely starting again. So
yeah.
Now, when you look, Seafew, Mark Querty, those guys can definitely go into the soft medium strategy now. Biff, Podge, Golden Wheel, Felix Banham, got a couple of options on what they can do. They can try and extend their stint out and go for the softs, or come in, just extend the mediums another lap or two and come in and go for the hards. Yeah, should be interesting. Vicker will be doing everything he can to get those hard tyres up to temperature, if he can time it right for the safety car coming in.
Yeah, but of course he's at full health going around the circuit, so they should be nice and warm for him. It depends on if.
Yeah, Silverstone, I think. I'm trying to remember how long into the lap it takes for the tyres to warm up. That's one of the other things that the guys at the front have to think of, is they're going to lose time on their pit. Obviously, the Vicar and that, they're not losing time. Biff, Podge, whenever they do pit and they come out, they're going to lose time.
Biff's in. Podge is in. Biff 5 seconds.
Oh.
And that could cost him that. That's going to cost him a lot. So Felix Banham now takes the lead of the race. Jezelodian in P2, Mark Querty in P3, and the Vicar in P4. Podge in as well. All of them onto the hards. I believe all of them are onto the hards. Is that mediums or is that hards? That's mediums on Golden Wolf.
Mediums for Golden Wolf, so he'll be stopping again.
Yeah, so yeah, could really pay off for him there. So Felix Banham will lead the race on the restart of this lap. And I actually believe the Vicar was slowing down to make sure the safety car wasn't in this lap, as seemed to start to back off a little bit out of tops. But I believe that's allowed, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know if that's allowed or not. I'm not too sure.
There would be no reason why he wouldn't. I was on board with him. I never seen him slow down excessively.
Yeah, not excessively. It was looked all fine. As yeah, safety car will be in this lap. Everyone has caught up now, and it will be in anyway. So you should see it as we cross into sector 3, and you've got the whole hanger straight and the final couple corners. But it depends when does he go on the old mediums as well. He's the only one that stayed out during this whole safety car period. So this could be a big risk for Felix Banham.
Yeah, I think he'll have the trickier start than most on those front mediums. He's got Mark Querty only in P3 on the fresh softs. He'll be ready to go.
Oh, he's gone. And he's gone very early as soon as that safety car crosses the line. So he can go when the safety car enters the pit, and he's gone. And he's gained about the second 8 cents.
They got a great restart.
But just loading, of course, those tyres might still need warming up. There's Mark Querty as well, and the Vicar with a poor restart, over a second behind his teammate already. on those hards.
Yeah, Mark Webb, he's on the fresh softs though, so he's always going to lose a bit of time. I think for the Vicar, what he'll be worrying about is just loading who's got the hards further up.
Yeah, but that is what his teammate could come in for.
Lodian is the net P1 at the moment, but he does have Mark Webb behind him.
And he's got a great run out of Cops. Here we go in towards Cops. And he's going to go up the inside. And he's going to get that move done. But he's going to slide off the road though. No, he's not. He's going to keep that in. Brilliant from Mark Webb today. Now he can push on towards the lead. Maybe back up just loading for his teammate as well. And maybe help him out.
Yeah, I don't think the McLaren was fighting that too much. I knew it was a losing battle. Being sensible about it, looking after his race pace.
Yeah, and starting to push in towards DRS. Of course, DRS will be enabled on lap 12, I believe it will be. Yeah, so DRS next lap as a poor exit for Mark Quirky again through that final corner. Felix Panam is a lot quicker. And just loading as well. He is in P2 at the minute. Net P2.
Yeah, finding a bit of speed now, his tyres are up extra.
And nice leg stay for the Vicar. See what he can do down from Wellington Street. And in towards Luffield and Brooklands. And he's going to show on the outside, but not close enough to go for the move. It's a very risky move. It's not really a dive bomb place, but you can pull a dive bomb off there.
Yeah. I saw Seafood going really behind, and Biff sort of came back at him there, up the inside.
Yeah, I just caught that. It looked like he was on the gravel a little bit. That could have been disastrous maybe if he just lost a little bit of the grip and ended up spinning into the side of him. That could have been a disaster, but it kept it clean. As the Vicar now might have a run in towards Cox, see what he can do. Down Hanger Street, in towards Stowe, sorry, and he's going to get shown the outside and he's going to just stay behind again. And looks like he'll have Sefu all over the back of me, in towards Club, and it's going to be up the inside for Sefu. Podges round again as well at the back. The Vicar drops down to P5, Podge in P8 after a spin as well now. Maybe actually making contact with Biff because he's dropped down the order. And Podge in the 3 second now.
Yeah, not with the championship leader one, Dave.
And that could be very costly for him there. Still a long way, about 14 laps to go, halfway through the race we are. Still quite a long way to go. Felix Banham still extending that lead on those hold mediums.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out front.
And just loading as well, starting to gain. And maybe the Vicar got a little smart and just stick behind Sefu and maybe follow him through if he makes an overtake on just loading. Of course, DRS enabled this lap, but here comes Sefu. Looks like he's got a great run on him, but just not fast enough down that back straight, the old picker straight. Heading through Cox, nice and tight through there. Perfect line, of course, that outside curb does end up slowing me down a little bit more than it should. Mark Werther with just the first 3 seconds of the race. And so close heading into Stowe, here we go. It's going to be Sefu round the outside. And it's going to be the pace of that McLaren on just loading it. He's got so much pace down the straight. He's going to go round the outside and he's going to just back out. Looks like it's going to be a nice overtake for Sefu round the outside. Well, here comes the Vicar as well, here we go. Oh, so close. And Felix Banham fan pits. Sorry to interrupt you there, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, what were you going to say, sorry?
Absolutely nothing. Oh, just loading managed to buy CPU again.
Yeah, through turn 1. Nice from just loading, but of course he's given the DRS to CPU and the Vicar.
I did notice that Gislovian does seem to have a good straight line on that car.
Yeah, he was very quick down into Stowe. And again, DRS just doesn't put a dent into that gap on just Lodian's car. Just maybe that's why he was struggling a bit in qualifying, or was that was Podge there? Sorry, I was getting mixed up between the McLarens.
But after Podge's incident, he is in this DRS train that's coming from Lodian all the way down to, well, Biff was in it, he's slightly better out of it.
Yeah, and see what can happen here. Golmull just in that as well, and Steffi with and he's just got a poor exit out of Chapel, and let's see what he can get down in towards Stowe. Might go for the inside this time. No, he's going to go force to the outside. He's going to go round the outside, maybe going for that switchback on the McLaren, and no, he's not, and he's in. He decides to pit.
Yeah, I'm not liking the softs.
Oh, and that could be a great exit for the Vicar there. Oh, so close. Nearly doing what Albon and Magnussen did in real life. Of course, with Albon chucking it up the inside.
And these three guys are effectively fighting for the lead of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, of course, Marquez still got to pit again. 2 second gap at the minute. Maybe those softs are starting to wear off for Marquez. Let's see. He's done well to increase that gap though. As Steffi onto the mediums, that should take him to the end of the race. Coming out next to Felix Banham actually. So the overcut has actually worked kind of well. Oh, there we go, Felix Banham's round. So the overcut actually worked there for Steffi. Staying out a little longer on those softs than those old mediums. See if the undercut has worked for Steffi though this lap. Of course, with Marquez in front, followed by just Lodian and the Vicar. And here we go, the Vicar's got a great run there. Out of Magus, Beckett and Chapel, and it's going to go round the outside into Stowe. And he's going to get that move surely done now. And the McLaren's just sticking with him a little bit. And the two McLarens swapping places there. As they're still going to fight there, and he's going to go round the outside and into the pits. Goes Marquez as well. And just Lodian choosing not to fight that. As the Vicar now leads.
Yeah,
Followed. With the 3 sec as well.
Yeah, the 3 secs.
Yeah, with the 3 sec, of course, I could. It looks like just Lodian's dropped out of the DRS. As he's got Goldenwolf and Biff behind him. So it looks like his car is not good in dirty air at all. Because when he was out in front, he was completely fine with no dirty air. And now he's got his teammate and Vicar in front of him with the dirty air. He's starting to back off a bit. This could be the battle for the lead here. It is going to be the battle for the lead.
See Podge's red light flashing, so I would imagine 11 laps to go. He'll most likely be doing everything he can to get his battery saved back up again to have a go at the Vicar at some point.
Yeah, that could be what is happening. Let's have a look. It's still, that straight line speed on Podge isn't the best, but it looks like he's not able to put a dent in with the DRS of course as well. Not putting much of his end, and Seki with a 3 sec.
That red light is obviously a sign of re-rating. He's not getting that extra horsepower into his engine, so he needs to do what he can to try and build it back up again, and then have a go in the final 2 laps, choose his moment.
But setting the fastest lap of course now. That could be him speeding up a bit. As you go out of entry, DRS open, down towards Brooklands. It's going to be, he's not even put a 10th in, the Vicar there. That is straight line speed on both of the Vicar and just Lodian's cars are amazing.
Yeah, and Lodian has fell back quite a bit from these two, so
yeah, just starting to save his tyres.
Biff
maybe.
has a good chance of still getting P3 if he can get past the two in front of him.
And of course, get that 5-second gap pulled out as well.
Always difficult when you're sitting third in a DRS train and get the overtake there.
And he's had a great exit compared to Golden Wolf there, and Golden Wolf just a straight line speed on is too quick for that Ferrari. But also depends on when Golden Wolf goes in on those old mediums. He hit the mediums under the safety car. And Vicker now setting fastest lap. Hodge actually beating him. And these two
pushing hard.
Yeah, but that could destroy the tyres and end up gifting the win to maybe just Logan if he can save those tyres or not. As it's it's not really a straight up field, it's really, really tight. As that is what we like. There's not much overtaking. Safety beating that fastest lap now on the mediums. Let's see if Golden Wolf or Biff can get past someone, past each other.
Golden Wolf, he does have to think about CQ behind him, obviously, and the fresh mediums. He is going to the end. He's sort of in that pit stop window, isn't he? What is he, 25.5 seconds behind? So he does have CQ to think about and choose when he's going to go on these soft tyres and maximise everything that he can out of the tyre.
Yeah, he needs to pick that perfectly, and perfect lap as well. As Podge and the Vicar so close again, Podge just not getting enough straight line speed.
Yeah, Podge is not letting that be, but it doesn't look like he wants to sit behind. He's doing everything he can to get right behind him and put maximum pressure on.
As again, the two of them swapping fast laps. As Podge getting a nice exit there by the looks of things, and still not enough straight line speed down the straight.
Yeah, I think from Podge's point of view, what he'll be hoping for is that Vicker in front of him is using up a lot of battery trying to stay in the lead. This endless pressure, lap after lap.
Yeah, and
slightest mistake from the Vicar and the Podge is there to capitalise.
That is what Podge may be just looking for. As here we go, looks like he's got a run on him, down towards Stone. He's going to go up the inside. And he's going to get that move done. But has it cost him his ERS? And maybe that could cost him even more as the Vicar just chooses to stay behind in Stowe and Club and in Club and Vale.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like the Vicar wasn't fighting it too hard there, but interesting to see how long is Golden Wolf going to stay out on those mediums.
Yeah.
It looks as if, you know, Pete, is it 5-6 laps sort of on those soft tyres seems to be the optimum.
Yeah, it does. As he's on 10 lap old mediums at the minute. They actually look kind of fine, not gonna lie. They do look kind of alright. Just on glance though, but we don't know because we don't have that data, of course.
Yeah, I think it's 2 of those laps just behind the safety car, so there's really only 8 laps, 9 laps on those tyres. These two are really pushing hard out front, just extending all the time.
Yeah, let's see what the Vic can do now. He's got the DRS this time. It looks like he's not pushing that much. He's got the red light flashing. Both of them had that red light flashing. So it actually looks like Biff and sorry, not Biff, Felix Van and Mark Quirks could have a battle here.
Yeah, Felix doing well to get back up, and in the fight after he's had a couple of spins, much like Podge has.
Yeah, and Podge as well. He's still extending that gap at the minute, fastest lap, of course. But I wouldn't expect one lap younger tyres to be that much quicker. But clearly I'm wrong. As there's still a battle behind with Gold Mull and Gislodian and Biff, of course, as well. But not much overtaking going on here. I think maybe just sitting down, keeping the tyres nice. And
some points in the lap, the Vicar was almost 8-9 tenths off the Podge. He won't want to be dropping out of the DRS, that's for sure.
Set to yellows off Biff. That's Star when he's lost his front wing. And maybe just oversteering on the curb, maybe, and just really lucky to not retire there. As of course it's about 180, maybe 300 kilometers. It's about 300 kilometers an hour, 108 mile an hour through that corner. So he could have just chucked away a podium.
Well, he gave a bit of breathing room now to Golden Wolf because he was on the back of him, and Golden Wolf sees it as
jumps in now.
Yep. Where does he come out relative to the guys behind? Does he get out ahead of Seafu or behind them?
Yeah, that is also important. Biff with a 5 second again for speed in the pit, so he will have a 5 second after as he serves his other 5 second here. As Golden Wolf in onto the softs, he should, of course, the Haas, the final car in that pit lane, he should come out ahead by the looks of things.
It's going to be close.
Just behind.
I think Seafu has got him.
Yeah, just behind. About 4 seconds behind, I'd say. 5 laps to go. He's got fresh softs.
He's got a set of feel goods on now, and it's his job to go and hunt down Seafu before the end of this race. As you see, the Vicar now dropping out of the DRS of Podge.
Yeah, of course, the Vicar just dropping out the DRS. Maybe just saving those tyres, of course. Podge has the 3 seconds. Which could really which could help the Vicar there. As the Vicar
yeah, it's an indication that maybe it's a legitimate penalty. Sometimes people can get warnings for things outside their control, and you know that the 3 seconds is going to be removed, but the way Podge is driving tells you he's trying to build that gap and trying to open it up as much as he can. And so far he's doing pretty well, but he does have to find 1.5 seconds in the next 5 laps, which is a big ask.
Yeah, but it can be done. It can be done. We've seen a lot of crazy moments at Silverstone in the last couple of seasons. From at least my experience from season 9, it's just been absolute madness at Silverstone.
Yeah.
And that's only 3 seasons, of course.
And Golden Wolf is now starting to eat into that gap between him and Seafu. I suspect he'll be on the back of him in the next few laps.
Yeah, and of course he might get even fastest lap as well, so he should. So P4 is, I believe, 8 points, so maybe even 9 points for him with the fastest lap of the race, if he does get the fastest lap of the race. Just needs to pull that gap down. See what he can get done.
It seems to me like Podge is a little bit quicker in the third sector of the lap, sort of the last bit of the lap, but the Vicar seems a little bit quicker through sector 2. As Podge goes fastest lap again, Podge is on the limit today.
Yeah, but you would be when the winner's online. And I'm actually, speaking of line, you can actually start to see the line form onto the Vickers tyres, which is usually a sign of about 55% tyre weight. And Podge, those tyres actually look a lot worse for a lot younger. You actually have a look at them, they do seem a lot worse, which is of course pushing a lot more. But yeah, there we go, Gold Mold fastest.
The gap now down to 1.3 through that, the beginning of the second sector. That's where the Vickers making up a lot of time on Podge. If they could just find a way to make the time back up again in the third sector as well, he'll bring Podge back into his DRS.
Yeah, he's just loading, still in P3 as well, it's really good for him. Biff now setting the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Biff and Golden Wolf going to duel it out to see who can get the fastest lap.
All that for 1 point, but it could be worth it in the championship at the end of the day, of course. I mean, anything could happen in this championship. There's still only 2 races in of the 13, I believe. 13 or 14, I think.
13, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very hectic race. There's Golden Wolf still in P5. He's still starting to bring that gap down. Of course, Seppi having that penalty as well. With Golden Wolf just sticking behind him. So it looks like it could be a Golden Wolf in P4. That's a really good result for him. He's not setting fast enough there, so it looks like it's Biff as well now. But Podge still leading by 1.5 seconds with 3 laps to go. Well, 2.5 laps to go, and he needs to gain 1.5 seconds in those laps to get that win.
Every lap that goes by, it's looking more unlikely the Vickers able to sort of keep him within arm's length, stop him pulling away, and Golden Wolf has now found himself in the DRS of CQ.
Yeah, of course, that is to be expected on those softs. As you can see, the outside is always going to get closer and closer and closer to the Haas. Actually looks like he might pull out a bit in this middle sector here. Let's have a look, does he have the DRS? Yes, he does. He did just about fall out of it though in the middle sector.
Yeah.
But a lap to go nearly. About 2 laps to go. The Vicker actually starting to drop off a bit. As it went from about 1.4 seconds to about 2 seconds now. So really just trying to save those tyres now, maybe. There's the Vicker. Let's just see. So, yeah, those tyres, as you were saying, you said the hards can last a while, and I see what you mean. 20 laps nearly it'll be. It's just loading by the end of the race. But as we do head on to the final lap, it'll be really close between these two. For that race win. See what he can pull it off here. So Pod starts the final lap here with a 1.5 second gap. He needs to gain 1.5 seconds to win this race at the minute. As the Vicker as well, just staying within that gap. The Vicker as well, he actually looks like he's starting to drop off a little bit with those old tyres, but that could be where Podge could win this, but Only a lap to go, of course. Less than a lap actually now, as you're heading through first sector.
Yeah, if the Vickham doesn't make any mistakes, he should be winning this on the time penalties. But you know, Pontus a fantastic race pace. Granted, he has flat out the whole time. It's just a shame he had those issues at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, means that, you know, if he doesn't have those issues, he maybe doesn't need to drive flat out so much, and the track limits don't become a problem. But it's been fantastic from these two up front. It really has.
Yeah, it's heading through towards the final 3 corners here. It'll be Podge across the line first. Heading around that final corner, it'll be Podge across the line. He'll be first on track, but he'll be followed by the Vicar, who will win here in Silverstone, his home Grand Prix, I believe. That is a win in his home Grand Prix. Podge in P2, Gislodean rounding off that podium, and Sefu and Goldmull just getting into DRS on these final 2 laps, but not enough for him to get past. But the time penalties will mean he will get that P4 position. Fastest lap, of course, will go to Biff with a 30.9. Really quick lap. Goldmull P4, so Mark Quercy will come home in P5.
Yeah,
I believe,
some
actually.
good recovery drives from a few of the guys there.
Yeah, and really clean racing from all of them as well.
Yeah, I think Felix will maybe be regretting his strategy of staying out in the mediums at the safety car and not coming in for the hards. Because he fell back quite a bit from that. It didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, but that was a risk worth taking, considering how early it is in the season. And of course, being so early in the season, you can take those risks, and you can either pull off or you can recover them next week or the week after.
Absolutely.
As we see the Vicar in first place. So your winners today will be the Vicar in P1, Podge in P2, Gislodean in P3, Goldmull P4, followed by Sefu in P5, Mark Quercy and Felix Fanon in P6 and 7, Biff and Bobcat are the final 2. So Biff is your final finisher, and Bobcat is the only winner of the race. And who was your driver of the day today, Martin?
Normally you give it to the race winner and the Vicar, who I think was absolutely flawless. He got his strategy absolutely spot on. But believe it or not, I have to give my driver of the day to Podge, because he had so many issues. I think he had 2 or 3 spin-outs in the race, and he still managed to pull him home in the P1 slot. And if it weren't for the time penalty, he would have won this race. But, you know, the 2 of those guys were great today, so a terrific battle between the 2 of them. So fantastic, and congratulations to the top 3.
Yeah, and that will have to be the end of the stream, as we will see you all tomorrow, again at Silverstone, and on Wednesday at Silverstone for GP2 and GP1. Those streams will be, of course, at the same time as today's stream, but as next week, I believe, next week is... I need to actually check this, because I cannot remember. It'll be Mexico next week.
Yeah, Mexico.
As very, it's a favourite track for few, but some people don't really like it. But on to Mexico next week for these drivers. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and we will see you all next week.